Hello everybody, live video with the Science Olympiad Botany today, but more accurately perhaps Biology Olympiad Botany, which is quite fitting because I'm here at the USA Biology Olympiad Finals, also known as Camp. And I just wanted to point out a few interesting things regarding some of the botany here at Camp. So we received the 13th, very rare, I guess, and new 13th edition of Campbell's Biology. And there are a few very interesting, well, mainly one really interesting thing that I want to point out here. And that is regarding right here. As you can see, the non-vascular plants, okay, the Bryophytes, have been kind of resolved into a monophyletic clade. If you remember in my past videos, I called them a paraphyletic group because, as the uninformed botanist that I was, I assumed that the Tracheophytes were most related to the hornworts. This is what the previous edition of Campbell's Biology said. Where you can see it is clearly a paraphyletic group because it excludes the vascular plants. So, in the past few years or so, maybe I'll link the paper down below, the Bryophytes, through genetic evidence, have been resolved into a monophyletic clade, with hornworts are actually the most ancestral or least derived plants of this group. And this is very interesting, because if you remember, hornworts, their sporophytes are very interesting. They have cuticles, stomata, they're photosynthetic, and are kind of present. They sustain themselves, you know? And previously, of course, we thought this was because hornworts were evolving these, because hornworts were most related to the vascular plants. But now it seems like this was a common trait of perhaps the common ancestor of both the Bryophytes and Tracheophytes. And therefore that means the liverworts and mosses actually lost those traits secondarily. So that's very interesting. A little bit of evolutionary updates from our plant systematics friends. So yeah, nothing's changed with the seedless vascular plants though. They're still paraphyletic. Another cool thing that I wanted to point out is they do have one new figure, or they have a couple of new figures, but this is probably, I think it's pretty interesting. You can see that they mention the staghorn fern as an epiphyte. Basically, they grow on top of other plants, but they're actually, it's a commensalist relationship in that they don't parasitize their host plant. And the staghorn fern is mentioned here, and it's only briefly touched upon, but they actually form colonies in which some individuals become specialized for water storage and some become specialized for reproduction. And actually, there's a lot more to it. It is probably one of the first, you could almost call it a eusocial adaptation in plants. So just like how a lot of ants and bees, hymenopterans, have specialized functional roles within a colony. Some are even sterile, so they can't reproduce. And they are finding similar things with staghorn ferns. And I'll link that in a paper down below as well. So, there are some fun updates. And that is also why I have not made any botany videos. It is because I've been here. So, yeah. Keep an eye out for when I make the angiosperm video, but then I'll probably go on vacation again, so we'll see what happens. Bye-bye.